and you can watch us. We are on your computer or even your mobile device. Just head on over to supertalktv.com. And today we're catching back up with one of our favorite Good Things guests. He's endurance cyclist Ed Abdella. He's from Meridian, and he's fixing to bike around Mississippi after the 4th of July, and he's here to tell us a little bit more. Welcome back, Ed.
Hey, how are you, Rebecca? Thanks so much for having me on.
I think you are still our only endurance cyclist we've ever had on the show because you people are crazy.
Well, that's what they say anyway.
For the best reason possible. Okay, bike around Mississippi. You are putting your passion for bike riding, and that's like a traditional bike out on the street or a road bike, up for a good cause. So what is behind the bike around Mississippi mission?
Well, this is I'm trying to raise money for one of the most iconic homes in Mississippi. Here in Meridian, Mississippi, it's known as Mary Hope, and it was the only home left standing during the Civil War when Sherman made his march to the sea. And it's the most magnificent home. When I moved here from Connecticut and went and took my first tour through it, I was just it's breathtaking, and I was taken aback by it. And I guess about 6-7 months ago, I linked up with their board and told them that I was planning a training ride of approximately 1,200 miles that would take me clear around Mississippi, and that I'd like to do it and honor Mary Hope and try to raise $25,000 for them if we could. And they were gracious enough to support me. And we have some of the most magnificent sponsors. Pain Management Center under Dr. Pasha, of course, is one of our sponsors. BMG, which is Benefit Management Group. WTLK, Hotel, Restaurant, and Supply. Woodstock Furniture. Magnolia State Cycle, of course, and Chris Bullock, who's running for supervisor, all got on board and supported this race. And I needed a crew, and we got together with the very crew that will be with me next year as I attempt the Race Across America, the so-called RAM. And so I have Clint Blackwell as our crew chief and mechanic, and Kevin Brooker and Chris Perry and Kathy Parrish. And WTLK is going to send Tim Irvin for a few days to embed us, and we start at 4:00 on July 4th, and I'll leave from Mary Hope here in Meridian, and we will travel to Columbus, Corinth, South Haven, Greenville, Vicksburg, the magnificent city of Natchez, Gulfport, and Biloxi, Waynesboro, and then back to back to Meridian. And it should take me just a little over 4 days. We're estimating about 320 miles a day.
So, and that's going to end up being right at 1,161 miles. Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's got it slated at 1,167 miles.
67. So. I think you could go 3 more and make it like an even 1,170. What do you think, Ed?
We should.
That's just the way my brain works.
Oh, I know. Look, I'm the same way. I've been telling people that it's approximately 1,200 miles because I just can't wrap my head around 1,167. But Clint Blackwell has been on previous rides with me as a crew chief and a driver and the chief mechanic, and he's the owner of Magnolia State Cycle, and he's been with me every step of the way for the Natchez Trace 444, for the 24-hour challenge that we did last year to raise money for West Lauderdale Band. And so, he's real retentive when it comes to, okay, this is exactly what we're going to do. And, you have to stay on the bike for this many hours before you get your first break, and you have to eat this many calories a day. And,
I'm curious, Ed, how many calories a day do you have to eat to bike almost 1,200 miles in 3 or 4 days?
You have to every day eat approximately, because Mississippi is relatively flat and there's not a whole lot of elevation. I think we slated approximately 27,000 feet of climbing when I'm done. I'll have to eat approximately about 8,000 calories a day.
Wow. So, that's right up there with Olympic level for swimmers who
yes.
are competing in the Olympics during their height of competition and training and sort of all of that. They're usually between the 8,000 to 10,000 calories a day. What will you have on the road with you? Will it be just I'm sure it's a lot of quick, easy things, but do you have like a snack that you'll carry on the bike that just brings you joy but also gives you that nourishment you need?
Yeah, so I have a crew of 4, and we'll have 2 vehicles that will be with me the entire way. They'll do what's called leapfrogging. In the main vehicle will be the foodie, they call it, the foodie vehicle. But we're going to try a variety of things. Like I said, this is a huge race to try and see what 4 days on the bike is like for the next coming race, which will be in the summer of 2024. And so we're going to try a solid diet at first, and that'll consist of I enjoy turkey sandwiches, so they're going to do a lot of turkey and cheese sandwiches, and we'll eat one of those probably every hour. For the hot meals, they like the fatty foods. So we'll try, I enjoy eating like McDonald's quarter pounders. I never, ever have them. But
I think you've earned them. And I will say, too, a lot of endurance runners will pack baby potatoes, boiled potatoes in their backpacks and things because they're the perfect sort of ratio of carbohydrates as well as some of the electrolytes that you need that you can sort of eat. And they'll eat them, like stuff them in their mouth while they're running. Just, you may, when you get desperate and you get hungry, you'll eat just about anything. And so they sometimes choose their little potatoes for that. But I think that's really cool and interesting how you're going to fuel yourself, but then also how this sort of team works. How long has your team and you been preparing? Because for someone listening, you didn't just wake up and say, I want to go bike 1,200 miles, in 4 days. You have slowly but surely been, inching closer and closer to longer races or getting longer and longer races, should I say. Over how long? How long have you would say you've been endurance bike riding?
Well, I've been bike riding since I was 14, but the endurance stuff it's been just with the crew that's with me now. We've been together for 6 years, and like I said, our ultimate goal is to do the RAM, which is the Race Across America. And that consists of 3,071 miles, and you have 12 days to do it. But like we talked last time, I eat, sleep, and breathe that race almost every day. I'm thinking about it. So we've been in constant meetings talking about, okay, this is what we're going to do. So when we had to put together a race like this to see just how I would be after 2 and 3 days on the bike, or even 4, this bike around Mississippi came up, and I got with the board at Mary Hope and said, look, I'm going to do this regardless, but I sure would like to raise some money for Mary Hope. It's a treasure that we have. And while we're doing the bike around Mississippi, Donna Huff Owens and some of the other gals, Kim Waters and Aubrey Flory, have got together with some of the other majestic places that we have here, and have gotten with their board members and said, look, we got this guy that's riding around Mississippi, and it would be nice if we can give you a target time within an hour or so, and maybe you should, he can stop and visit and talk a little bit. So we're going to try and do that and bring up other majestic homes that we have here and sites that we have here in Mississippi, because we want to preserve this. And and I'm sure you've seen it as well. It's been all over the news, but we lost one of the most iconic buildings that was really huge during the Civil Rights Movement, and it's known as the Young's Hotel. And it was, devastating to see that building come down.
Well, we don't need another one to come down, and you're trying to stop that, Ed, and we're going to get to that and more about your bike ride coming up next. We're continuing our conversation with endurance cyclist Ed Abdella. He is gearing up for Bike Around Mississippi, which he'll kick off at 4 p.m. on July the 4th through July the 9th, hitting up many stops here in Mississippi. His goal is to bike 1,167 miles, and it's all in hopes to raise funds to save Mary Hope there in Meridian, but then also get in a practice run for your Bike Around, or Bike Across America? That's the race. That's the name of the race, right, Ed?
Yes, ma'am. It's called the RAM, Race Across America.
How often do they have the RAM?
Every year. They started it in 1982, and it's been going on every year. In fact, it's a week away. It starts on June. It starts Father's Day weekend when the soloists leave.
So why did you choose 2024 as your year?
Because it's an extremely expensive race. And you have to have a lot of sponsorship for this particular race, and the training that I had to put in. I just simply wasn't ready when I first.
That's fair. Yeah.
So
Derek in Greenwood, Ed, asked us on our C-Spire text line. He said, "How old is this fella? It's inspiring for me as 40-something." So if you don't mind us asking, Ed, how old are you?
Not at all. So I'm 58. I'll turn 59 on September 7th of this year. And when I do the RAM, I actually will age up to 60 because my birthday is September and the race starts in June. So they'll age me up if my birthday is before December 31st of that year. So I'll be actually riding as a 60-year-old, which is, even more daunting because there's very, very few 60-year-olds and up that's ever completed the RAM. But this Bike Around Mississippi is, for anybody out there that's saying, well, I don't even drive that many miles, you can do it. But don't start out with it out the gate. Get a plan together and start with smaller miles and sort of work your way up. For safety precautions, let me throw that out, Ed, because you've been working at this for years. You're also going to be making stops, so I want folks to be able to know, where do they get in touch with you, Ed, if they want to be able to maybe time when to see you or meet you or wherever you may be along the way. Where is that out? Where is that? Where would that be listed at? Yeah, we have it on Komoot. And Clint also has it on, when we start the race, he'll actually have it on Facebook, and people will be able to follow me that way. There's a bunch of different ways, and I really wish Clint was here talking about the technological part of it, because I am not technologically advanced. I am a school teacher and should know everything about this. Half the time, I have to get my students to do certain things for me while I'm in the classroom. But yes, they a lot of the guys that I ride with and will follow me on what's called Strava, which is a biking app, and we'll be on that as well. But there's a bunch of different ways. And they'll be able to track me, and I encourage any bike group and bike club that's out there, when we get close to your area, I sure could use some company. We will have 2 vehicles that will be protecting us the entire time, with big flashing lights, so you'll know we're coming, and you'll know when we're in your town, so I really would like that. But when we start on the 4th, I'll have a number of riders from my club and my cycling team that'll be with us, and they're going to ride about 12 miles with me, and then they'll go back to Mary Hope, and I'll be on my way. Which this is all for. I know it's a training run for you, Ed. You would do this regardless, but this is all to support Mary Hope. And you mentioned you met the building. I guess first introduced to the building. I'm not sure how that relationship should be stated. But what was it about the building or the structure that really has just left an impression on you? It's just the women of Meridian, way back in 1967, it was, from what I understand, and I hope I'm right with the dates, I could be off a couple of years, but in the 60s, it was cut up into a few apartments. And in fact, Hewitt Clark, the great author, who wrote many books on Mississippi and Mississippi lore, actually lived there when he was a child, and his greatest story was him and his sister were cooking something on the stove and set the back porch on fire. But anyways, long story short, when the occupants had left, there was some women of Meridian that got together and said, we need to go and make this into a museum. And it's been that way ever since. We have one of the most incredible Christmas little decorations going on in Maryhope called the Trees of Christmas, or the Christmas Trees of Maryhope. And every room is decked out, and the community comes together. Like, I'm part of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and we put a tree together and had one of the rooms dedicated just to the soldiers that had fought in wars, past wars. And it's incredible. You know, you have school children will go up there and put their trees together, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But it's open all year round, and we give tours. It's not in disarray. We have a lot of people that support it, but they always can use more help. We're in need of a new roof right now, and so that's really what I'm hoping to achieve. I'm hoping to, like I said, raise $25,000 and, you know, to go towards the roof and some other things, maybe, you know, some painting and stuff like that. But, you know, it's real simple. I mean, I can't come up with $25,000, but, you know, there's an app that I just learned, a little icon. I forgot what they call that little thing that you can hook, you know, take a picture of it with your phone or wave your phone over it, and it goes right to the site, and you can donate $10 or $20 or $30. And I'm like, man, I can do that. That's really, really simple. And that's really all we're looking for the people around Mississippi to do something like that. You know, I'm not asking anybody to say, hey, you know, I'll give you $25,000. I'm looking for people to give me $10.
Well, don't shoot them down, Ed, if they're listening. You know, you never know who may just take care of that roof for you today. I mean, it's a Friday. People are excited about it summer, maybe feeling a little generous. Give them the open door.
I do like that. What do they call that app, Rebecca? Do you know what it is, that little icon? What is that?
It's the QR code, but most smartphones, if you just open up your camera, will actually, and you place your camera and it sees a QR code, it will bring up the website automatically. So most smartphones, we just need to know where to go to get the QR code.
Right. Well, we have them. You obviously have it at station, but it'll be on Facebook. It's we have our own Facebook page for Maryhope, and then of course Magnolia State Cycle has it, the QR code there as well. But you can go right online to www.maryhope, and Maryhope is spelled MERREHOPE. But they can go to www.maryhope.com, and they can do it that way and get the QR code, or they could just mail in a check if they want to. There's a PO box on our website. But I'll
make sure that we put the address to the website in our Good Things Facebook group and make it easy for folks to be able to find it that way. I'll do that after the break, so that people can go and look for it there, and they'll know exactly where to get it, and also how to stay in touch with you. I think this is super cool. So what will your training be like over the next couple of weeks? Are you gearing down to gear back up, or you still got some really long rides ahead of you before July 4th? Where are you at in your training right now?
I've still got some long rides. I just got back from North Carolina, doing a number of hill climbs, and the biggest thing was challenge for me was the switchbacks. Here in Mississippi we don't have any of them, so I went to North Carolina to train on the switchbacks. Not so much going up, but coming down. That's they keep talking about that in all the books that I read. Is when you get to the switchbacks of the Colorado mountains, you're in, if you've never ridden them, you're in trouble. And so I did that. And, but no, I'm not going to slow down any. I put in about 300 miles a week. 250 to 300 miles a week in the summer, and I'll continue to do that. And the week of July 4th, I'll probably do a couple of little light rides with some friends, and then take 2 days off.
Well, Ed, we'll be rooting for you. You'll have to remind us closer to the 4th of July. We'll get you back just to sort of keep up with you over those 3 days. How about that?
I appreciate it.
Or 4 days. Or is it, 3 or 4 days.
What would be really neat, you let what we've been doing with the messaging and stuff, and you let me know when we can call you, and I will have Clint call you while we're on the road, and he'll actually hand me the phone while I'm riding, and I can chat with you then.
That'll be awesome. We look forward to it, Ed. You stay safe and keep healthy, and best of luck, all right?
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Rebecca. Thank you.
All righty. You guys stick with us. It's Friday. We got Tanya with movies coming up.